All right, welcome. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into something really special, the lyrical genius behind the villain in the song Ayuh by the Malaysian rapper Malique. We're going to explore how he builds a villain who is like straight out of a novel, but does it in just a handful of bars. It's wild. And that's really the big question, right? How is it even possible? Today, we're going to unpack exactly how a fully formed, multi-layered bad guy gets built right in front of our ears, all hidden inside a soundtrack for a movie.
Okay, so the verse kicks off with this line. Now, for a second, don't even worry about what it means. Just listen to it. The sound, the rhythm. It's got this ancient, powerful, kind of ominous vibe to it, right? This is where our villain's story begins. All right, so let's start breaking this character down piece by piece, because this is not your average one-dimensional villain. Malique really constructs him from the ground up, starting with his origin story. So that line, it translates to something like rises from the embers, then life is blown into him. And what's so cool here, and this is a real writer's trick, is that he's not rising on his own. Life is blown into him. Something else is bringing him back. This sets him up not just as a person, but as a supernatural tool for some other darker power. Okay, so right after that, the next line drops this word Sakti, and this is a super important word. It's the key to understanding the nature of his power. So, what is it? So Shakti, it's not just about being strong. We're talking about a deep, mystical power, something almost godlike. And you've got this resurrected dude juiced up with this ancient force. And his entire mission? It's summed up in one perfect phrase from the song. Rensanya Bintana. His plan is disaster. And we're not talking about some small-time chaos here. No, the lyrics paint this picture of a total societal collapse. Think about it. Celebrations just stop. Public projects grind to a halt. You can't even get a peaceful night's sleep. Even the most intimate, private moments are shattered. He's not just attacking an enemy, he's attacking the very fabric of society. Okay, so we've got the mythic power down, but now the verse starts peeling back the layers. It stops talking about what he is and starts digging into who he is. And no, he's not a literal ghost, floating around with a sheet on. This is an amazing metaphor for an old threat, a grudge from way back that was never dealt with, and it's just been sitting there, festering, getting more and more toxic. He's the walking consequence of a past that was never put to rest. And this next line, wow, it just nails the psychology of this guy. It basically says his fragile emotions are hidden behind this tough guy facade. He's using modern slang here, jagosadi, for this muscular champion look. But it's all a front, a facade, hiding his fragile emotions, his emosi rapunya. All that rage, it's just a show to hide how hurt he really is. All right, get ready, because this next part is where the genius level just goes off the charts. Malique cements this villain's whole identity with one single, absolutely devastating phrase that pulls from history, from religion, from everywhere. Just, Dia Kitol Al Iskariot. He is Kitol Al Iskariot. See, he's not saying he's like them. He's literally mashed these two legendary traitors together into one new super traitor, a whole new archetype of betrayal. So let's break that down, because it's huge. You've got Si Kitol, who in Malay history is the symbol of betraying your own nation. And then you have Judas Iscariot, who's globally known for spiritual, moral betrayal. So by welding them together, Malique creates this villain who is a traitor on every single level you can imagine. Against his country, his faith, his own soul, it's total betrayal. But right when you think you've got this mythic, historical villain figured out, the verse just rips him out of the past and throws him right into the modern world. This is the big pivot. This is where he becomes a real, contemporary threat. I mean, look at this line. From hero to sicario. 4 words. And in those 4 words, you get his entire tragic backstory and his scary new identity. He used to be a hero, someone people looked up to, but that's all gone. It's collapsed into something way, way deadlier. And if you don't know the term, a sicario is a hitman, the kind you associate with ruthless modern cartels. So our ancient, mythical bad guy is suddenly very real, very gritty, and very terrifying. He's not a ghost anymore, he's a physical threat right here, right now. And the lyrics don't waste any time gearing him up. Suddenly, the song switches to first person, like we're in his head. My balaclava is black. Boom, he's anonymous. My body is layered to be proof. Yep, that's body armor. And he's got assorted black metals, which is such a cold, poetic way to say a whole bunch of guns. He's a walking weapon. So,
Okay, we've got the myth, we've got the psychology, we've got the modern operator. Now let's look at the final assembly. This is how all the pieces come together to create the perfect weapon. This next line is just a masterclass in saying a lot with a little. He doesn't just list some gun brands. He says, Bruno, you think top-tier Czech firearms. He says, Steyr, you think of that iconic Austrian rifle, the one special forces use. And then NATO just stamps it all as military grade, the best of the best. It gives him instant credibility. And that brings us to the final brilliant fusion. Marco Polo, Rambo, go. He's not just a musclehead or a brilliant planner, he is both. The strategic genius of Marco Polo combined with the unstoppable force of Rambo. And it's all unleashed with that final, chilling one-word command, go. So let's just step back and look at what just happened. In like less than a minute, this one verse has taken us on a whole journey. We started with this mythical creature born from fire, dove into the mind of a psychologically broken ghost, saw him become the ultimate symbol of betrayal, and then watched him transform into a high-tech, modern killer who is the perfect mix of brains and brawn. That's a complete character arc in less time than it takes to make toast. It's incredible. And all of this really just leaves you with one final thought, doesn't it? You have to wonder, what other masterpieces are just hiding in plain sight in the lyrics of the songs we listen to every day? The stuff we might just have on as background noise? Maybe it's time we all started listening a little bit closer.